This is the cremation of Sam McGee. Oh, there are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who toil for gold. The Arctic trail showed secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marsh of Lake Labarge. I cremated Sam McGee. Now Sam McGee from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and blows. Why he left his home in the south to roam round the pole, God only knows. He was always cold, but that land of gold seemed to hold him in its spell, though he'd often say in his homely way that he'd rather live in hell. It was Christmas Day. We were mushing our way over the Dawson Trail. Talk about cold. Through the parka's folds it stabbed like a driven nail, and if your eyes to close, the lashes froze till sometimes you couldn't see. It wasn't much fun, but the only one to whimper was Sam McGee. And that very night, as we lay packed tight in our robes beneath the snow, the dogs were fed, the stars o'erhead were dancing heel to toe. He turned to me. "Cap," says he, "I'll cash in this trip, I guess. And if I do, I'm asking you not refuse my last request." Well, he looked so low that I couldn't say no. And he said with a kind of moan, "'Tis the cursed cold, and it's got right hold, and I'm chilled clean to the bone. Yet 'tain't been dead. It's the awful dread of the icy grave that pains. And I want you to swear that foul or fair, you'll cremate my last remains." Well, a pal's last needs are a thing to heed, and I promised I wouldn't fail, and on we went at the streak of dawn. My God, he looked ghastly pale. Crouched on the sleigh, he raved all day of his home in Tennessee, and before nightfall a corpse was all that was left of Sam McGee. Well, there wasn't a breath in that land of death, and I hurried, horror-driven, with a corpse half hid that I couldn't rid because of a promise given. Lashed to the sleigh, it seemed to say, "I'd test your brawn and your brains, but you promised true. Now it's up to you to cremate these last remains." Well, a promise made is a debt unpaid, but the trail has its own stern code. In the days to come, though my lips were dumb, in my heart how I cursed that load. And in the long, long night, round the lone firelight, while the huskies round in a ring howled out their woes to the homeless snows, my God, how I loathe that thing. And every day that quiet clay seemed to heavy and heavier grow, and on I went, and the dogs were spent, and the grub was getting low. The trail was bad, and I was half mad, but I promised I wouldn't give in, and I'd awful sing to that hateful thing, and it hearkened with a grin. Then I came to the marge of Lake Labarge, and a derelict there lay. It was jammed in the ice, and I saw in a trice it was called the Alice May. And I looked at it, and I thought a bit, and I looked at my frozen chum. Then here, said I, with a sudden cry, "is your crematorium." Some planks I tore from the cabin floor, and I lit the boiler fire. Some coal I found that was lying around, and I stoked the fuel higher. and the flames they soared, and the furnace roared. Such a blaze you'd seldom see, and I bored a hole in the glowing coal, and I stuffed in Sam McGee. Then I took a hike, 'cause I didn't like to hear him sizzle so. And the heavens scowled, and the huskies howled, and the wind began to blow. It was icy cold, but the hot sweat rolled down my cheeks, and I wondered why. And the greasy smoke in an inky cloak went streaking down the sky. Now I do not know how long in the snow I wrestled with grisly fear, but the stars came out, and they danced about ere again I ventured near. I was sick with dread, but I bravely said, "I'd just take a peep inside. I guess he's cooked, but I'll take a look." And the door I opened wide. There sat Sam, as cool and calm, at the heart of the furnace roar. And he had a smile that you'd see a mile, and he said, "Please close that door. I'm fine in here, but I greatly fear you let in the cold and the storm. Since I left Plum Tree in Tennessee, this is the first bloody time I've been warm. Oh, there are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who mile for gold. The Arctic trails no secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The Northern Lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest they ever did see was that night on the marge of Lake Barge I cremated Sam McGee."